Triumph contrived this demonstration to show you how fast the Triumph TR6 stops, shifts and turns.
Alright, so I got this clamped in, and I know the top edge of this flange is accurate because I measured against this one, so I'm going to have to pull. You can see up the spots where I'll have to pull the fender out to match that as I tack it, so that'll be a little bit tricky, but I'll try and get it all on film. Where's my striker? Just grab this off. Alright, so there's the weld. This is the previous patch I put in, and then this is where the weld is to the flange. So I'm going to file that down and file that down, and then I'll hammer and dolly that curve, make sure it's to a shape I like, the profile like that along the top of the fender. Okay, so I've got the flange pretty much how I like it. I may touch that up with MIG later, I may just leave it. I filed this down, got one in the 16th like the other one. I'm going to file this a little bit, and then what I'm going to do now is, you can see I took a file to the top of this, I can see these low spots. I'm going to hammer and dolly along the weld seam and just get a nice little profile there. So yeah, that's what I'll do next. So I screwed up somehow, and it's got a curve to the right. You can see it there. I seem to recall having some trouble towards the middle of it, and I think I over-constrained it in the middle, which is pulling gradually to the right. So I'm going to slit the flange, press it flat, maybe get some angle iron, and hopefully make sure this is a straight line, because I tried it on the car, and it's got about a 3/8 inch gap. Touches at the front, touches at the back. So I will try and do that. Okay, so I'm straightening out the flange. What I've done is I've taken a piece of angle iron. Well, first I cut this flange every 3 inches or so, and then I hung a weight off it just to give a little mass, and I've got another weight there. I've got the angle iron across it, and I'm planing it down. And then once it's flat, I will weld up that flange again. It's basically a very straight. Hold, please. So you can see it's nice and straight all the way across there until it gets to, you can see where there's a weld there. I must have wrinkled it up right up to the 23.5. It rocks there. You can see it's rocking right there. And then this part's all relatively flat. So I think if I can get that 23.5, well, now it's at the 15. If I can get that spot down, it will hopefully get back in line. So I'm going to use a combo of my body file along the edge of this angle, and then I might tap it with my body hammer as well. So we'll see how that works out. Alright, so I got the fender tacked and mounted to the frame, and I'm trying to figure out this last little piece. It's got a teeny bit of a curve into it. So there's, thank you Craig once again. That piece has a 2 millimeter rise between this part right here at the fender, the seam, to the tip. So I'm just going to recreate that. So I'm going to take this off and put 2 millimeters. So if I put a straight edge across here, this should curve in with a max 2 millimeters at the gap right here, at the center right here. And the rest of it's fine, and then I'll weld a piece on there to make that curve fit. So that shouldn't be a problem. So I may be able to rescue this. Like I said right here, this is where it wrinkled up when I gas welded. I don't know what happened. Something got kinked up and screwed the whole thing up. It's too bad. It was all kind of nice. Alright, so I lined it up on the fender, on the body I should say, and I'm going to finish welding that on. And then I will also weld up the slits in the strip. And yeah. See how this works out. Okay, so top's pretty much done. Got some pinholes to fill and a teeny bit of sheet metal right there to put on. Let's do that. This flange is done. I need to just drill the holes, and there's one pinhole there. Not two. So next I will work on the rear. Take those two shoddy patches off, and then figure out how I want to repair that. So yeah, that's next. Alright, so unfortunately screwed it up twice. I should have done it on the car, and I didn't. And now I've got this huge bow just pulled. So I'm gonna, this is the second time I'll be cutting this. I'll cut this again, but this time I'll bolt it to the car and then use the car as the template, which is what I should have done the first two times. So, oh well, humbling, but you learn. Alright, so now that I've cut it, you can see I push here, hold on, I'll have to push with my hip. I don't know if you can see that. I'm pushing, it's hard to see. But that all lines up. So now I'll bolt that on to the right holes, which I should have done the first time. I'll bolt this to the body and then weld it on using the body as a template. So, alright, so I did what I should have done the first time. I cleaned all the crap off the back of the car, which I didn't feel like spending the 30 minutes to clean all the shit off the back. And so now I bolted the fender on, you know, which is a pain in the ass, but it took a little time. So now I cut a slit up the side, and I've got the whole thing bolted on. So now I'll use the body as a template. Some minor alignment to do. I'll line this up. Then I gotta bend this out a little bit, but otherwise it's nice and straight. So hopefully it'll stay that way as I weld it back together. Alright. Penny wise, pound foolish. Okie doke. So, welded this up, put in some strips along here. In this section I had to build it up a little bit, so I did lots of small strips, and then I'll finish this flange up. And so I'm just going to grind that down, finish the top, then I'll remove the fender and connect this into the flange, and we'll do it that way. Alright, so slow and steady progress, but I think I'm on the right track now. Okie doke, so hopefully on the, maybe a little loud, hopefully on the home stretch, so I've taken the fender off after welding it up on the frame, so it's nice and straight. Can't really show it, but this is what I've got to close up on the flange, and then I am pretty much done. So I will weld that up. And gosh, when did I start? After Christmas, so 5 months on this section, but you know, I had to redo it twice, so I would say only 2 months, which is about average. Anyway, I will do some work. Okay, so now I'm just filing this edge to get it nice and straight. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you can't. There you go. The high spots, and making sure it's, you know, flat all the way down. You can see a couple of high spots I'm working on, and I'm just using my old-fashioned file. I was using my body file, but it wasn't quite working it, so you know, just the thrift shop file that I got for $1.50. Alright, I'll just keep doing this. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, so on the third try, I got this nice and straight. I got the height nice. You can see I had to rework all this. This is just a guide code. It's actually black magic marker. And so I will put skim coat of filler on top of that. But I'm pretty happy with that. Nice straight line. And right now I've got it slightly more than hand tight. That'll snug up once I clean that up. The torque on this. So yeah, it took 6 months instead of 2 months, because I had to do it, undo it, do it again, and undo it, and do it again. But I'm pretty happy with it. I'll finally put this video up. It's been a while since I posted a video, simply because I've been working on this. I didn't really have anything noteworthy to put on. So next will be that area there.
Cars and a great deal more.